Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise.
And after a hiatus, everyone's back on the same track. And I realized that when I went to go queue up something, I had it listed on the wrong portion of everything going on, because that's the kind of week that's happening for me. So while this should have played during the intro, I clicked on the ring and it's on this episode. There you go there. So I'm your host. I'm your producer here at the Full Circle Radio Network, JJAlexander. My co-host joining me, Mark and Greg. Gentlemen, it's been a bit. How's everything going?
Swimmingly.
Going well.
Swimmingly is me. That's I gotta fucking do laps. I was doing laps this morning. I tell you though, it makes me feel better about myself. I was worried that, like, I mean, obviously I still need to get into shape again, but I feel better being there and seeing elderly people like being like, I can't swim a whole lap across this thing, and I'm like going past them with one leg. Like, that's literally what it was like today.
Wow. Clowning on the elderly.
I mean, besides my friend that I go there with, like, I'm the youngest person there.
Wow.
And it's basically all old women too, so I get the men's locker room basically to myself for most of it.
Yeah, that's
nice.
So, yeah. Count that blessing, because I've heard men's locker rooms can get pretty ugly.
They are. Like, I remember when I used to go to the old boys club in Bristol before they built the new facility. And yeah, just all old men, and the steam room stunk. And yeah. But anyways, I'm so off track. So welcome to Wildcard Cinema. We are a movie review podcast. We usually air every other week. We had some technical difficulties, a couple things, and so it's been more than every other week for just the immediate. But here we are. We're in the midst of season. We're literally at the smack dab midpoint of season 2.
Oh.
And yep, and we do things a little bit different here. So I'll just run through the rules of Wildcard Cinema, so y'all kind of know what we do here and how we differ from your average type of stuff. So the rules for Wildcard Cinema Season 2. We have 11 episodes in total. So actually, at the end of this will technically be the halfway point. We each have a receptacle where we have made 10 movie selections prior to the beginning of the season, where they will be chosen at random. At the end of each episode, we make a poll for the next episode. When we go to review those, each person has their dealer's choice when their movie gets to be reviewed as to why they chose the movie. They let us they can choose to let us know before the other two start reviewing, or after they've given their thoughts. Could be a plethora of reasons why they put in the movie. Love, hate, not credited enough, this, that, the other thing. You know, it's not always a love fest here. New to this season, we all have a wild card entry thrown in as a bonus. What that is we all kind of have a few movies that maybe didn't make the cut, so we have a little sideboard. Sort of like in Texas Hold'em, how there's the river, and those are the extra cards that can be played part of your hand. So we each have a wild card in, and none of us has pulled ours yet this season. And the final rule of Wildcard Cinema is all movies that we review must be available online in some way, shape, or form, whether it be streaming free, streaming on a paid site, or video on demand. And just so you know, from here on out, spoilers ahead.
All right, so it's halfway through the season, and none of us have picked the wild card. You guys want to place bets? Like I predict that all three of us are going to pick the wild card on the same episode. And
Greg said that last episode.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's tonight.
Greg said that last episode. He's like, we're all going to pull our wild card at the same time.
Well,
like, don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I do have to say, I thought after the last time we pulled, I thought we only had 4 slips left. So I was like, oh, we're going to pull them all at the same time. But we actually have 6 slips left. So
yes.
It's going to be a little bit. That's a little bit harder. So
yeah. And plus it all depends on like what we like. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a big game of chicken when we do get our wild cards to see what we're going to pull from our sideboard, depending on what the other people have chosen.
Right.
I think I've told you my sideboard is a rotating thing in my head of just what's going on like that week. And I walk into each episode like, well, if I pull it tonight, I'm picking this. If I pull it tonight, I'm picking this.
Yeah, my sideboard is written down on. I keep a run sheet for all the selections that I've gone through so far, so I know what's left for the season, and then my wild card sideboard's written right there. And I started off with 4 on it, and I added 1 as the season has progressed. So
I did tell Joe one week what we would have gotten had I pulled it. But I guess I'd normally just keep it to myself. So.
Yeah. I also was not a fan of your joke about next season.
Wait, remind me?
Oh, no, he didn't tell you. He DM'd me this like 2 nights ago.
Oh, well.
So I know a lot. I've only seen Fast and Furious, the first one, way back when it came out.
Point Break with cars. Yeah.
Yeah. And and you know, it's talked about on a lot of movie podcasts and a lot of people love it. You know, obviously it's still a big franchise, whatever. So I was watching something on YouTube as I do late night and movie related, and Fast and Furious franchise came up, and I said, I texted Joe, I said, can I next season, quote unquote, randomly pull Fast and Furious 1 through 10 in order?
No.
Don't do that to us.
I could do it, but I wouldn't want to pull them in.
And then your wild card would be Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, well, a different order. Like, oh, we got to watch the 10 first. Although maybe that would be interesting. I don't know. It would be a good bit, but.
Hey, before we start, are any of us drinking?
I am. I usually have wine.
What you got?
I'm not drinking alcohol. I am drinking though. Thanks for that layup, Mark. Because before we get into everything else, I need to let you know that we got to pay the bills today.
Ooh.
Oh,
and
no way.
This edition of Wildcard Cinema is brought to you our friends at Dubby. Dubby.gg. Dubby is a company that makes energy drink supplements and hydration supplements that are no sugar added, no maltodextrin. They use coffee fruit extract, so it's an easy caffeine. There's no crash whatsoever. Right now, I am currently drinking their. Tonight, I'm partaking in the Push and Punch.
Oh, you're literally consuming the sponsor's product.
Yeah, like that's like the whole thing is there are we're partnered, so
sweet.
I have to support the product.
Heck yeah.
Can Dubby send me some hydration thing so that I could try instead of my noon that I use when I play hockey?
It's a possibility, but they do a great array of flavors right now. Their newest limited edition is their Shadow Monarch Surge solo leveling. It's officially licensed through Crunchyroll. It's for season 2 of a show called Solo Leveling. It must mean some anime or something. It's a blue raz purple grape flavor. But it gives you laser focus. It's brain food. It's got L-taurine, L-tyrosine, L-glutamine, L-cyrilene, green coffee fruit extract. vitamin B3, vitamin B6, vitamin D, B12, vitamin C. In the tub you get there, that's a $39.99 tub. That's a month. That's about a month-long supply. I have actually got a tub of the mystery flavor that I'm going through right now, which turns out to be the sweet tart flavor, which is pretty damn good. But it gets better because, well, you can get the month tub and it comes out to about 88 cents per drink, which is 16 ounce, which is cheaper than your average energy drink, even if you're at Dollar Tree. But it gets better because if you use the link down below, or if you go to w.gg and you use the code Full Circle Radio, you get 10% off your order at checkout. That's not just your first, it's every order. So grab yourself some W and be better. Yeah.
Joe doesn't know Solo Leveling.
No, I don't watch anime, dude.
I know that was one of your stipulations. I don't know it other than it. There's the Solo Leveling movie, whatever that is, was definitely playing at AMC last year at some point. So.
Okay.
I was like on my TikTok thing where I run down releases for the week. I said something called Solo Leveling is playing. You can go see that if you are into anime.
I don't even watch like the big anime shit like Akira and stuff. Like I don't care.
Yeah, I like some of it, but not, it's few and far between.
Yeah. So I don't know where we left off. Who went first on the last show?
Oh, I have no idea. I was hammered. No, just kidding.
That's wonderful.
What were the selections last time? I'll remember if we run it through. What were they?
Summer of Sam.
Right. That was last.
Yeah, that was last. I went last. I don't even want it. I don't know.
I think I must have gone first.
Okay, so Mark, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first.
All right. So what was your selection that you pulled many moons ago?
It was The Ice Harvest.
All right, and away we go.
This is Charlie Arglis, the most talented mob lawyer in all of Kansas.
Did I mention to you that I really wish you wouldn't do that?
Yeah. They told me
I'm gonna break his fingers.
as an attorney, I advise you to cease and desist. I'm almost done.
If you are what you do and you never do anything, then what are you?
Our finest gifts we bring for
How much?
$2,147,000.
Anybody but a lawyer would consider the consequences.
Does this mean you're rich, Charlie? Because if you are, we could run away together.
It is a thought.
Leaving Wichita? Damn right it's a thought.
I should be home in Kansas City watching my kids open their Christmas presents. Now I gotta waste the whole day looking for that nitwit.
You seen Charlie tonight?
No, you just missed him.
Maybe we should leave now. In case you haven't noticed, there's a hockey rink out there.
Boy, I didn't realize how slippery that was.
You going somewhere, Mr. Arglist?
No?
That guy you thought might be looking for you? He is.
Just act normal for a few hours and we're home free.
Yo, ho, ho! It's good to see you!
I want to know, when I use the word normal,
I think I scraped my tummy.
if we're understanding it the same way. Don't poke. Hurry up. Oh,
Yeah.
you don't have any bullets for this, do you? Everybody has regrets.
You're in love with me.
I've always liked you.
Mr. Arglist? Ouch, that had to
Oh,
hurt.
yeah, I sure did.
If you let me down, it's alright.
That you, Arglist? Drop the gun.
You ever notice how weird people get this time of year?
Yeah.
It's Christmas. Everybody's nice on Christmas.
Only morons are nice at Christmas.
What's that, Roy?
Damn, I took his gun. Guess he must have another one.
Must have.
Okay, so The Ice Harvest was released in 2005. It was written by Richard Russo and Robert Benton, based on the book by Scott Phillips. It was directed by Harold Ramis, starring John Cusack, Billy Bob Thornton, Oliver Platt, Connie Nielsen. Budget was 16 million. Its worldwide box office that it pulled in was 10.2 million. The synopsis is a shady lawyer attempts a Christmas Eve crime, hoping to swindle the local mob out of some money, but his partner, a strip club owner, might have different plans for the cash. So, Mark, dealer's choice. Before or after?
I'm going to tell you before.
All right.
All right. So I love a good little caper film. And this is one of my all-time favorites. I think it's supremely quotable. It's got memorable characters, and it's just a really fun little, hidden gem of a movie, which is part of the great Harold Ramis's filmography as a director, and I think it should be more appreciated, in my opinion. So that's why I picked it.
I see.
Also, side note, I noticed while watching this that it's the second film I've picked on this show involving
Billy Bob Thornton in a heist,
fighting over who's gonna hold on to a giant bag of stolen money.
Literally, one of my notes was, "Is this going to be a running gag every season? We have a heist movie with Billy Bob Thornton in it."
I actually I had that in the notes.
That was totally accidental. So
I wrote, Mark really likes steal money movies. Oh, that also starred Billy Bob Thornton.
Yep.
Oh, I also said this movie could have been called A Less Simple Plan.
Amazing. Yes.
Oh God. Greg, your thoughts?
Not bad. It didn't resonate fully with me. I don't really know why. Maybe just the mood I was in at the time. I'm not sure. It definitely is like a hangout kind of movie, because there's not much happens. I mean, other than they're just waiting to leave, to get out of Dodge. So, although when I saw Harold Ramis was the director at the beginning, because I wasn't aware of that, I was like, oh shit, here we go. Yeah, because I love Harold Ramis, like most people.
I think, was this his last film that he directed?
He directed.
No, that was, I think, year one.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Whoops. Wish this was
that
his last
sucks.
Yeah,
he would have gone on a hideout if this was his last one. Yeah.
I was gonna say I thought Orange County, but that was before this.
Oh God, the talk about us.
So yeah, I don't know. Billy Bob Thornton is perfect in this. I thought John Cusack was wildly miscast. Maybe that's just me reading the room wrong. I don't know. I couldn't take him as like a, I don't know, smarmy kind of skeezy guy, because maybe
really.
I
take it you've never seen The Grifters.
No, I haven't. I think the only thing I've seen close to him on this level is Grosse Pointe Blank. I guess.
Oh, so you never saw War Inc.?
No.
War Inc. is kind of like Grosse Pointe Blank on steroids.
Okay.
It's basically like instead of a hitman, he's an arms dealer, but it's kind of the same movie. Yeah.
Is it? That's not the one with that's God of War. Man, I've seen a lot of. Why are there so many?
No,
why are there so
I
many
think you mean Lord of War. Lord of War with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Lord of War, and then War Dogs. Why are there so many gun runner movies?
Yeah, because War Inc. He was in it with Joan Cusack. It was the other movie one of the other movies they did together, besides Grosse Pointe Blank and Must Love Dogs. And
you lent me that DVD, I think 15 years ago, and I still have it.
Oh, my copy of War Inc.
Yeah. Damn. I still have it. I don't know
by the way,
why
I just found your copy of Man of Steel.
Oh, keep it. I bought the Blu-ray.
Oh, okay. But yeah, and Ben Kingsley was the boss in it. But anyway, I'm getting really off track here. But but I've seen Cusack play like lesser likable characters, if that's how you want to go with it.
I don't know. I thought maybe somebody else in the role, maybe. I don't know. So I was a big Entertainment Weekly reader before the internet was like huge. And this was a movie they championed, so it was something that I wanted to seek out. And for whatever reason, I never saw it until now. but I was fully aware of what it was. So I was happy to. I'm like, yeah, great, get to see this. But I don't know, like I said, like, I didn't really write down any notes of significance. A lot of it was just like random thoughts, but I guess this movie kind of fits random thoughts like that, I guess. Being the nature of it, just like hanging out and seeing him do his thing. Because I was like, I was just focused on like Connie Nielsen being a fucking smoke show. And
yeah, she was kind of hot in this movie.
And the cooler of MD 2020 really brought back some bad college memories.
I still love me a good MD 2020 every once in a while.
I also watched 2 consecutive movies that night where a guy gets a bunch of gas in his mouth while siphoning it.
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah, you know what? Hold on a second. Let me just look up I'll look it up. I'll look up what other movie was while I'm sorry.
That just happened to me the other night too, because I was falling asleep watching Midnight Madness.
I'll take a look real quick before I'm done. I'll pull up the movie. But Mark's right though. Lots of quotable lines. I wrote down. It was pretty fun. She says, "So, are you in love with me? You're in love with me?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, I guess." So I had like a decent amount of fun with it. I didn't love it, but certainly wasn't bad or anything, not at all. So I don't know. I mean, maybe if it was on again, or I might, if it was on TV again, maybe, or I guess not TV. I don't know if I stumbled across it. Probably maybe give it another watch. The other movie I saw that night that had the same thing happen was The Last Stop in Yuma County, which came out last year. So,
I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, it's smaller. It's pretty good though.
Oh,
really good. Recommend it. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's all I had. I mean, like I said, I think with most movies this week, I don't have a ton of notes.
Yeah. So
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Enough.
So I'm not sure, but I think I might have been the one that originally suggested this movie to Mark when it first hit DVD.
I think you're right. I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, what was the first time I saw this? And I just remember, I think you were like quoting the movie to me. You're like, oh yeah, there's this scene, he says this. And that's how I got into it.
Yeah. I mean, because I saw it, I was just like, it's a Cusack movie. I'm going to watch it. And Oliver Platt, I'm going to watch it.
Anything.
Right. I fucking love Oliver Platt.
You guys watch The Bear?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Oliver Platt plays such a good drunk in this movie. He's like the best drunk performance I've ever seen.
Yeah. And I just this is in my like Christmas movie rotation. When because people will be like, oh they'll be like, I want to watch a Christmas movie that's not a Christmas movie, like no Hallmark. Every time I'm like, Ice Harvest. Like it's right there for you. It's like, it's either that or a Shane Black movie. Like take your pick.
Yeah, any Shane Black movie. Even Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie.
I think the only Shane Black movie that isn't Christmas is Monster Squad. Yeah, but I've always dug this, and it was fun rewatching it again. I think it's one of those I think it's one of those where, like, if you thought it was all right the first time, I think the more you watch it, the more it grows on you. Kind of like Big Lebowski.
Yes,
I can see that.
That's a great comparison, actually. Yep, it grows on you like that.
And it's funny because I was actually one of the tape collectors groups I'm in. I kind of put it out today because I was like, it's my birthday this month. There's a couple of tapes I'm looking for, and this is one of them. There's 2 idiots on eBay trying to sell VHS copies for $150 and $250.
That's obscene.
Yeah, especially because someone just sold one on April 20th of this year for $5.25.
That's more like it. People who gouge the prices of VHS tapes have a special place in hell, in my opinion.
So the reason they're doing it is because it came out in 2006, so it's one of the last movies that got released on VHS.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Like I was working at Hollywood at the time, and I don't think we even got a VHS copy of this in. So
Oh wow.
It was a lesser, obviously there was a lesser print of them, but still, like, it was like, I know it's out there. I'd like to have it for my collection, so I just put it out there to anyone. I'm just like, hey, if anyone's got a copy they want to part with, I'm not going to break the bank on it, but let's talk. But yeah, and I don't have a ton of notes myself, just because it's one of those movies where I just kind of sit back and enjoy the ride. Literally, that was my first note. My first note was, so this is the new trend for the show. We either have a Fred Durst making an appearance, or we have Billy Bob Thornton in a heist. We need to find the crossover movie. This is my thesis. I can stop watching movies.
Mark had 2 Travoltas last season.
That's right. So let's say a heist movie with Billy Bob Thornton and John Travolta. Does that exist?
Fred Durst shows up.
Y2K.
No, neither Travolta or Billy Bob are in Y2K.
No, I know. Just Fred Durst. They would have made that movie better though.
Yeah. I said, well, wow, I've only got I said I would definitely be Billy Bob with the golf club. Mm-hmm. That scene where he's going insane with the golf club, that would be
the
me.
Shit out of him. Yeah.
That would be me. It was one of the only other notes I have here is, and I believe it was one of the scenes. I think it's the scene where John Cusack is talking to Connie Nielsen on the phone. And I said, there it is again. The old camera trick of the light on the eyes, but not on the mouth, means the eyes are telling the truth and the mouth is speaking out of ignorance.
They do that a couple times with her. It's like the femme fatale film noir kind of thing.
Right. I remember 8th grade English, Mr. Torino teaching stuff about that. And that's one of the things he's like, this is the lighting tactic that they use to show you. And I still pick up on that stuff to this day. As much as I enjoy the movie, I enjoyed more finding the info, the behind the scenes info about it even more, considering some of the things of what happened with this movie or what could have been with this movie, which I find things quite interesting. So,
like what?
So, Randy Quaid wasn't originally supposed to be Bill Gerard.
Okay.
Originally, Harold Ramis wanted to offer it to Bill Murray. Bill Murray still wasn't returning his phone calls.
Oh yeah, that was back during their feud.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
Yeah. That was a feud that started on Groundhog's Day.
Yep.
And Bill Murray got so pissed at Harold Ramis that he made a rule. He's like, I'm not going to talk to you directly. You can only talk to my assistant through me. And then he hired a deaf assistant.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they didn't talk up until Harold was dying, and then they made amends.
They made amends at the end, yeah.
Bill Murray was wrong in that situation.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. I'd love him to death. But
Apparently he was going through his divorce then.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, shit happens. Things happen in life. I get it.
Well, they probably should have made up way before they did.
Right. Considering how long they were friends, it just seemed like you're going to throw this friendship of how many years out the window. It's sad. It's sad the things it could have been, because I think I would have dug seeing Bill Murray as Bill Gerard in this. Also, Connie Nielsen wasn't originally supposed to play Renata. It was originally supposed to be Monica Bellucci, but she got pregnant and had to bow out.
Oh, okay.
That'd be massively different.
Yeah.
It's especially 2006 Monica Bellucci. I mean, she's still beautiful today, but if you ever fucking shoot 'em up. Oof.
So is Connie Nielsen. So is Connie Nielsen though. If you've seen Godfather.
Yeah.
I mean, not Godfather 2. Gladiator 2.
It's whatever flavor of ice cream you like, And also Harold Ramis, because of the weather, because of how cold it was, Harold Ramis almost had to close production for a day due to the weather, which would have spoiled his tradition of never losing a shooting day on a single film that he directed.
Oh wow.
And that's a feat that I don't think any director's ever going to be able to, achieve. Especially with studio interference and all that stuff. But yeah, every Harold Ramis movie, including this one, no matter what, he never missed a day of shooting.
Speaking of like behind the scenes stories and stuff, did either of you guys aware of the I think there's 3 deleted endings, like alternate endings to this?
I am. I just haven't watched them in forever because I got to dig out my DVD to do
Don't
it.
bother. They are awful. Awful. It's basically this. It's the scene at the very end where John Cusack is driving and he comes across the dude in the camper and he gives him siphons the gas and then they have a little chat and then the guy runs over. But in one of them, he backs over John Cusack and kills him. And then
that's right.
You see his ghost walking through the field. Awful. And then there's like another one that's basically the same thing, but it fades into the original conversation where John Cusack and Billy Bob Thornton were first coming up with the idea. But
that's right.
Weird crossfades that it's not even a scene in the traditional sense. It's like a crossfade. Terrible. They chose the right ending for this.
I swear, I think John Cusack just had like I think John Cusack had like a thing in his contract for every like movie that he did where he's like, we have to shoot like 3 endings. Because like during the mid 2000s, because like it reminds me of 1408. Because of like all the different endings they shot for that.
Yeah. I don't know if
it's
it's this many. Was it? They shot a couple, I thought.
They did 3 for.
It's the same as this then.
Yeah. What funny thing? It's one of those things where it's like if you're delving into the writing and everything. Which funny story is the guy the guy that wrote the book originally said it could never be adapted, and then he kind of after Ramis approached him and talked about it, he was like, you know something, yeah, I think it could, and like change his mind. But it's one of those things where if you're reading it in a literary sense, there's hints here and there about things. Cusack's character, his last name Arglist is the German word for deceptive.
Oh,
or it's either deceptive or deceiver or something like that. But yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, if you were just reading it on the written page and you were to know that, you'd be like, boom, right away. You already know he's like, he's the shiesty guy on chapter 1, even though it's pretty much established right away in the movie. And I like the fact that there's a few different twists in this movie, like, and they're not like big, heavy dun 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 twists, but because it's you just when they happen, you're like, oh hey, Billy Bob turning on him, you could probably see coming, but then you're not sure about Connie Nielsen until it gets a little further along in the movie, and then Oliver Platt's just like the little trickster that just pops up out of nowhere. That's why I love it so much in the end when he pops up from the back seat. He's like, where are we? Let's go get pancakes.
Do they have pancakes? Yeah. He's my favorite character in the entire film.
Like his character in this reminds me a lot of the character he played in A Time to Kill, Harry Rex. Just without the Southern accent. The characters are very similar. But like I said, I'll watch anything with Oliver Platt. And I mean, I think this is one of the last movies Randy Quaid did before he went completely off the deep end.
Yeah, I actually didn't really care for him in that role. He comes across to me as more like buffoonish, not very threatening. I see what they were going for. Like they needed like a name as like the big bad guy that shows up at the end.
Right.
I don't think he had at that point the gravitas that they needed.
Which is really weird because it was around the same time as this that he did a lower level kind of horror movie. It was more suspense and horror, but it was a movie called Black Cadillac, where he was like he was the bad guy in it as you go along and find out, and he was like scary in that movie.
Oh wow, really?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the dude can act. Watch The Last Detail. I mean, this dude, can freaking act, but just so many decades of him playing like the Cousin Eddie character. It's like, I just don't think he was up for it,
Yeah. But, but then I, come to think about it, like, would Bill Murray have done that role justice either?
No, they needed like an old school, character actor from film noir,
like Brian Dennehy.
Well, yeah, that
Denny or like a Paul Sorvino could have played that. Like,
yeah, they needed a big. It should have been like a moment where you're like, oh shit, they got this guy. Kind of like when they got the what's his nuts, Sean Connery to be at the end of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It's like this is a gimmick. This is like the audience is like, oh shit, kind of thing.
And or they got Patrick Stewart at the end of Robin Hood Men in Tights. But yeah, it's like I said, it's an enjoyable, fun movie for me, and it's I love being able to, when people say Christmas movie, I can just go boom here. One other tidbit of info that I don't know if y'all know, but it's the running gag in it is the graffiti line.
Right.
Do you know where that comes from?
No.
It was a 1981 album by Pat Metheny and Lyle Mays.
Oh.
As falls Wichita, so falls Wichita Falls.
Nice.
I think you can you can listen to like the whole album on YouTube. It's only like a half hour long.
Oh.
It was like an EP. But yeah. But it's and I just realized why I was thinking before, and I was like, what am I doing? I was like, what am I missing? And now I realize what I was missing. So
while you're searching, I want to
go ahead.
Apologize to Harold Ramis. He did not direct Orange County. He was just in it.
I thought he directed it too.
No, the guy Jake Kasdan directed it. That went on to direct some pretty good movies himself. But around this time of Orange County, Harold Ramis had a couple duds himself. The Bedazzled remake.
Oh yeah,
that one.
Yeah,
he did. He bookended Bedazzled with Analyze This and Analyze That. One of which is good. And The Nice Harvest.
One of my favorite underrated Harold Ramis films, and I know I'm going to catch some flack for this, but it's the Saturday Night Live movie Stuart Saves His Family.
No, people like that. People like that movie, man.
I think it's really charming, and it's really underrated. People dismiss it because they're like, "Oh yeah, It's Pat was such a bomb," and "Oh yeah, they're making movies out of SNL," but it was actually a really good movie.
I think we all have like an SNL guilty pleasure movie where other people are like, "Why?"
Yeah,
it's like I like watching The Ladies Man.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's got its moments.
I can't argue that it has its moments, but I don't know if it makes it worth watching 90 minutes.
I think the what's it? Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan bopping their heads. That's
Night of the Roxbury. That's
funny
a classic.
To me. Yeah,
that's a classic.
You know what? It's become one of my favorite SNL films.
That movie is great because they took guys that really had nothing. They didn't even have lines until the movie was getting produced, and they built an entire thing around it. And I think the thing that made the movie so great, building around it, is the fact that like the supporting cast, like Molly Shannon, was fucking amazing in that.
She's great in that movie.
Yeah. And Chaz, I want to say Chaz Palminteri, and I know it's not.
Oh, Dan Hedaya?
No, not.
Crap! What's his name? Mr. Zadir.
Yeah, or was that Chaz Palminteri?
Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah.
That was good. Yeah, you were right the first time. Yeah,
and Colin Quinn. Yeah, because he was doing an autograph signing for his wine or something locally like a few weeks back, and my buddy Dan like messaged me, and he was just like, "I want to know if he'll sign the bottle. Did you just grab my ass?"
I texted you that. That was me.
That was you. Okay, my bad. Listen, I get texted stuff about freaking like liquor signings by you, by Dan, by Greg. Greg sent me the thing today with the stupid jug of what the fuck, man.
Sure did.
They're selling like Like they look like gallon jugs of ghetto juice, but they're this big and they're like 16% alcohol by volume. Like it's like the
America.
new thing this year.
Hey, I do want to say real quick that we referenced the the 4 worst Rotten Tomatoes scored SNL movie. so it's Pat is 0%, the worst. Night at the Roxbury is 11%. Tied with The Ladies Man. And Stuart Saves His Family is 30%. Somehow
right.
Blues Brothers 2000, 46%. That make sense.
Because Blues Brothers 2000 has a great soundtrack.
It does.
I can listen to a record.
Yeah, but the performances of the songs in it are fun.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't seen it, but I know it's considered pretty bad. So.
I have a soft spot in my heart for SNL movies. I own a DVD copy of every single SNL movie ever made, including its Pat.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
The highest rated SNL film on Rotten Tomatoes is 93%, and it's actually Bob Roberts. That is from SNL?
No, it's not. No, that's a mistake.
No.
Bob Roberts is a Tim Robbins film. That was Jack Black's first movie.
Yeah, I know it is.
It's got nothing to do with an SNL.
I'm gonna have to do some digging and see if somehow
tell these people they wrong. So, anyways, getting back on track before we move on to the next one. If you are interested in viewing The Ice Harvest, it is currently available on the Internet Archive. You're welcome.
Nice.
As well as video on demand on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Fandango at Home, and Google Play. So you have one free option, or you can pay. It's worth paying for it, but like I said, you're welcome. Okay. I suppose I shouldn't go last 2 shows in a row, so I guess I'll go in the middle.
All right.
That fair?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the selection that I pulled for this episode is, what was it? I don't even remember. No, I do. It's just deciding to freeze on me right now. Is 2008's Lake Mungo.
The following is based on true events.
Not really.
Can you interpret dreams?
Sometimes. How do you feel when you wake up from these dreams?
They scare me a bit.
For Alice Palmer, underneath the hopes of a bright future were suspicions
I feel like something bad is going to happen to me.
that death was near.
You scared of dying?
Yeah, of course I'm scared of dying.
That was the last time that I saw her. I kept hearing noises in the hallway.
It hasn't reached me yet, but it's on its way. I feel like I can't do anything.
I think Ellie saw a ghost. I didn't have any rational explanation for who was in those photos.
Something was happening inside that house and I wanted to find out what it was.
There was a ghost in our house.
Lake Mungo.
Yeah, of course I'm scared of dying. Isn't everyone scared of dying?
All right. So Lake Mungo was released in 2008. It was written by Joel Anderson. It was and directed by Joel Anderson, starring Talia Zucker, David Pleasure, and Steve Jodrell. On a budget of $1.7 million, it had a very limited theatrical release, basically only touring the festival circuit. So its box office was $29,850. The synopsis is, after a 16-year-old Alice Palmer drowns in a local dam, her family experiences a series of strange, inexplicable events centered in and around their home. Unsettled, The Palmers seek the help of a psychic and a parapsychologist who discovers that Alice led a secret double life. At Lake Mungo, Alice's secret past emerges. So as the dealer, I will say that I am going to hold off.
Okay.
Well, that means, Mark, you can kick it off.
Oh, okay. All right. This film didn't really do it for me. I thought it was very well acted. I loved the mockumentary approach. I think if you watch this going in and not knowing it was a mockumentary, you'd think it was real, kind of like Forgotten Silver, which I had picked a few episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very authentic, very realistic. I had a problem with the supernatural stuff, and it's because it felt unfocused. Like they didn't really know. I don't know how to describe it. The biggest problem I had with this is that there's so much footage of what we later find out is faked footage that turns out to secretly have an actual ghost way in the background where you didn't ever saw it. That happens like 4 times, you guys. It's like, oh, we went back and looked at the photo, and in the corner was the real ghost. It's like that. I'm sorry. You just can't do that 4 times in a row. Like it pulls the rug from under any sort of suspense that you have. And I was way more interested in the subplot about the girl. What's her name? Alice.
Yeah,
who,
Alice Palmer. Yeah,
had this secret tape that she made with her neighbor, and I was like, oh, now it's getting interesting. And then it just turned out, oh no, in one of the faked photographs, you can see the neighbor in the back of the room trying to steal the tape. Like, what are you talking about? Why would he be in the house while you're faking ghost footage looking for the tape? And that's your proof that he was in there. Like, it strained credulity, in my opinion. And the thing that I thought was really actually like spooky, the only moment I was spooked was when you see the phone footage of Alice walking on the dark trail and coming across her own corpse standing in the road. I was like, oh shit, I got like chills. And then I was like, oh, but it just, nothing ever really comes of it. It's like, oh, well, that was a cool little moment, but nothing happens. And the family moves out, and oh, guess what? In the background of their family photo is the ghost again. Like, I couldn't get into it. For that. But the acting, 5 stars. 5 stars with the acting. And I liked the fact that this is actually the director's only film. I would watch anything else that he made after this. Like, he really shows a lot of promise. I don't think this movie was quite up to snuff, in my opinion, but I want to see what else this guy can do. But he just never made any other films. And I find that very disappointing. And that's my review.
Maybe like the movie, this director doesn't actually exist. Mark and I must have been sharing an outer body or inner body experience with each other, because I felt the exact same way.
Oh wow, okay.
I only have like 2 notes because I felt like there wasn't anything else to say. Like, I got it, I saw it, I got what they were doing. I felt the whole same throughout the entire thing. They do an amazing job recreating newscasts and interviews, which is partly because of how great the actors are at acting like interview subjects. I mean,
yes.
Spectacular. The B-roll footage is shot perfectly like a true crime doc. Excellent work.
Mm-hmm.
But I just found it so boring. Like, give me 30 minutes of this and I got the point. There's nothing There's just nothing in it to grab me. And you're right. It is somewhat similar to Forgotten Silver in that it's, most of the mockumentaries I've seen in my life before this podcast were comedies, why am I blanking on the name?
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, and shows like The Office and other things.
Anything Christopher Guest did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's mostly comedy. So I haven't really seen a lot of mockumentary serious things, or maybe none until this podcast. But much like Forgotten Silver, I just thought it's really well done. But okay, I mean, I don't know. I think the problem with real mockumentary is it would be so much more interesting if it was real, and because it's not, it's like why do it? Like why do? I get the comedies because you're getting laughs from it, and
you're not taking it seriously.
Yeah, it's a comedy, so we'll do it in that style. But just make a documentary then. If you're gonna, I get it. I mean, again, this guy shows that he's really good at making this. He could go into true crime and make terrific true crime docs if you wanted to. I don't know why he only is one film directed, but yeah, I mean, again, very well made. Just I don't know how much I can care about something that is presented as real when it's not. So that's all.
Interesting. Okay, so I guess I'll pop in here, then we can further discuss. But I am a avid fan of the genre that a lot of people discount, and that's the found footage genre, which mockumentaries kind of fall into. And I think people discount the found footage genre as it's when you want to make something cheap and you don't have any ideas, but there's a lot of stuff in the genre that is done very well.
It can be done well, absolutely, yeah.
Right. So I never discount anything because it is found footage. But what I'm going to say now is to both of you, thank you for letting me know that I'm not fucking crazy. Because literally every time there's a conversation in movie chats and freaking it's like I'm in a member of a couple of found footage fan groups and stuff like that, and people talk about their favorite found footage movie. Fucking Lake Mungo always comes up, and my response is always the snoring emoji 5 times in a row. I don't fucking get it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't I heard so much because first time I watched it was back in 2015, I think. So it had been out for a few years, but everyone's like, "Oh my God, you have to see this movie. Oh my God, if you're a fan of found footage, man, you got to see this fucking movie." And I'm like, "All right, I fucking found a copy." I fucking sat down and I went, "Really?
Wow."
And it's been a 10-year battle since then of people like, "Oh no, you just don't understand." Like, no, this fucking movie is shit. Yes, the actors are good, and basically the reason the actors are good and everything is because they were all local, local television actors who only did local dramas and stuff like that. They were trying to find lesser named people, and the reason the dude has only done this one movie is because he does more stuff with television in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's why people liked it at first, because it was a mockumentary, and and he passed it off as a true story. But yeah, I have never, and here's the thing too, I'll a couple of the trivia bits here that I don't understand. Director Jordan Peele has stated in a podcast with Kiki Palmer that Lake Mungo is one of the movies that scared him the most. And
I don't get that.
Why?
Yeah, the whole thing, everyone goes to the scene when she sees herself on the. I'm like, bro, it didn't scare me the first time. And it didn't even. I was just like, that's it. But I mean, like, seriously, when I'm talking about this, this is a screenshot from fucking Wikipedia. This is how many fucking places, like how many lists it's on of like top found footage movies. Fucking Rotten Tomatoes, IndieWire, Variety, the BFI, all of these 10 these amazing found footage movies. And I'm like, what the fuck are you people smoking?
Can I play devil's advocate?
Sure.
I mean, I can understand that if they're basing it the way Mark and I are basing it, where it's like, yeah, it's so realistic, even though it's fake, but that doesn't make it good.
Right.
That's
it's a well-made mockumentary. It's not a good story.
No, there is no story. I mean, there is a story, but it's just like, who cares about
it? It's like, and I'm going to get into my notes in a second about tearing apart the story. But every time people talk about this, and like the thing that always brings me up is there is a far better found footage series that's technically it's found footage, but it's mockumentary that does this concept so much better and has been able to do it for 8 movies now, and that's The Blackwell Ghost.
I've never heard of that.
The Blackwell Ghost. It started like 8 years ago. Like 9 years ago. He's done like one like every year, and they're only an hour long each.
Okay.
But the first one was put out as a like people thought it was a documentary. And obviously it's been followed on. But the thing is, it starts off with him trying to find out about this ghost in this house, and he stays in the house and records it and everything. And like as it goes on, it's only like the first like 2 movies revolve around that ghost. But then like he starts like talking about like some true crime thing that's connected to a person who knew the thing, and it moves to a different milieu and a different person and a different story. And then in the midst of that, it keeps going where it's always this main character putting these out like as a documentarian, but it's like the same thing as this, but it's so much better, and the plot is so much better, and everywhere it goes, like and it fucking every movie it grips you like with what he does, like with so little. And it's like a prime example of how this can be done well. And like I said, like it's in I have all 8 movies in the drive, and I have but if you go in the curated found footage list, which I have like 150 movies in, like, trust me, it pains me that this is in that list because it's
what I'm curious to see where all those lists that have this ranked have like the Blair Witch Project. Like, is that the best?
Dude, one of them was let me see which one is it here that I wanted to pull up. It's literally. Yeah, Fangoria, 15 of the scariest found footage films after the Blair Witch Project.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, I just very boring and well made.
Right.
That's it. Well made. Oh, did you guys see The Devil? Late Night
with the Devil?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
I have.
Okay.
Is it any good?
Oh yeah.
Far more interesting than this, and as well made, because you think you think you're watching a late night show,
right?
Oh,
but it's actually way more compelling, way more compelling, and way scarier at times, and just a much better viewing experience. I mean,
right?
I will watch anything David Dasmalkian is in. I think he's amazing. I'm so glad that he's really had a lot of success as an actor.
Yeah,
because he's really great. So that movie has been on my to watch list for sure.
Yeah, give it a watch. Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah, but it's just and so now let me actually get it, because I actually I have a lot of notes.
Rip it to shreds, dude. I want to hear it.
The opposite of us. Go off, King.
I'm trying to remember because I watched this a few weeks ago, obviously, so I'm trying to remember the thing. Like, so my first note is trespassing in other people's places in the middle of the night just because. Yeah, I'm sure that's totally normal. I don't even remember that. This is literally putting. Oh yeah, this is literally putting me to sleep. I'm gonna have to come back and finish this in the morning. That was a voice note that I gave when I started watching this again, and it was 7:00 at night. Like, that's how much this movie bores me to tears. The 37-minute mark is where it just starts to completely lose me, because you can't enhance footage from a low quality hi-fi, well, what do you call it? A low quality VHS tape to that extent to make out those characteristics on something so far in the background.
Yeah, it's like in Super Troopers, enhance. Like that, it's not possible to fucking zoom in that close and see, oh yeah, there was a ghost in the other room in the dark. Yeah, it's like, what the
I remember someone was debating with me once when I was watching. I was, for shits and giggles, I was watching Enemy of the State, and they did the part where they were like, okay, now rotate the camera this way, and then they're like, no, you can't do that with the blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's just a movie. Shut up.
I try to give constructive criticism, or not straight bash movies we pick, because, you know, hey, you're trying to be a little respectful. You know, you never know if someone likes things. But I have to echo your sentiment, because while I said I found it boring, my real note was I found it so boring with 7 O's. So
right. And then, oh yeah, the one quote that I was so mad. I'm a psychic, but I've never seen a ghost before. Stop. Just stop. Said, that's right. This teenage kid was able to do all this stuff with video and photo manipulation by himself in 2006.
Yep.
Like,
big
bro.
plot hole. Big problem.
And my next note was, it just feels like every 10 minutes you're waiting for something else to happen, or for something to be revealed other than the mundane. Like in any true crime documentary, the moment of, oh, the son went on this road trip with the older paranormal investigator guy would automatically lead towards a really bad thought. I just wrote, you know what, but it's like, that's where I think it's going. And to further that, like, as the movie continues to go along, you see the brother talking, it just gets this really creepy, incestuous vibe to it. The way the brother's always talking about the sister.
Yeah.
And then another big plot hole. What planet are you from where you can get 18 hours of footage on any VHS oriented home video system?
Yep.
Like, it's like, oh, the
Good
tape
point.
good for 18 hours. Like, no, dude, the most you can get on a super long play is what, 8-9 hours tops?
Yeah.
Like, and like, this was in 06 when it's like the technology was still there. It's not like it's not like someone's making it today and not knowing how the technology worked back then.
Yeah.
The age of consent in Australia is 16, which is the age that Alice was. So it's not that I'm saying it's okay, but what was the issue with the videotape?
Yeah.
Like, because that's the whole thing is like, oh, the neighbor had to find out about the age of consent is 16 in Australia.
He wouldn't have done anything wrong in the eyes of the law then.
Right.
Why did he try to find the tape and then run out of town before anybody, found it? He picked up and picked up his family and left town, right?
Right. It's like, okay, yeah, the girl was babysitting your kids and everything, and okay, you had a threesome with your wife and the babysitter. The babysitter was of age, like, and like, there's a whole site devoted to shit like that. Let's see. So once again, we find out that Alice went to go see Ray. Yeah. So here was the thing about the fucking psychic, and how, because like at the, like, and it went back to it twice where it showed like all the tapes the psychic had with the people's names on them.
Yeah.
So it's like two different notes here, but I said, so once again, we find out Alice went to go see Ray before she died. Yet this was not brought up at any other point in the fucking movie prior to this. Like, I don't know when the family first consults with the guy and he goes, oh yeah, I talked to your daughter once. Like, that would have made more sense, because Ray mentions all this stuff about confidentiality, yet we keep showing these sweeping camera shots of tapes with clients full
with the
names on them in this supposed documentary.
That's a really good point.
And then it said movie takes more than 66% of its runtime before it actually decides to like Mungo. And then like the when she sees on her ghost, I said, yeah, still not that scary. And the thing is, it's because they wanted to do the whole supernatural thing. There's like a whole legend about a ghost at Lake Mungo already in Australian lore.
Didn't they find some bodies? Like
it's an Aboriginal woman that from like 400 years ago that was ceremonially buried there, and they talk about the Lake Mungo lady. Yeah. Like, why couldn't you done that? Because
it's like making a movie that takes place in like the most haunted known place in America. Let's say, like what's a really haunted place? Dracula's castle or something like that, and it's a movie that has nothing to do with Dracula. It's like, it's an odd choice.
Right. It bored me to tears, and I don't understand why people hold this movie in such high fucking regard. Like it's like brie cheese to me. It's like no one really fucking likes this shit. It tastes like feet, but you act like you like it because it makes you fancy.
Have the right glass of wine, you might enjoy some brie.
Nah, bro. Now, I've tried numerous times. There are very few things in this world that I just don't enjoy as in cuisine. Very, very few things. Brie cheese is up there. I think people just keep saying they like it because of the fact that like it insists upon itself that it's this great work of fucking the found footage fucking milieu. Like, you know what movie I could go off on a giant rant, so I won't, but I will say, you know what movie, it's not found footage, but a lot of people say it's found footage, but you could put this movie and Lake Mungo right side by side of people only say they like it because they're acting like they're fucking smart. Fucking Skinamarink.
Yeah, you told me you weren't a fan. Yeah, that's a very mixed reviews all over.
You want to watch 99 minutes of the texture of carpet?
Yeah. I know some people really love it. I don't know, but I know there's a lot of people that hate it too. So
don't.
Yeah, never seen it.
So pointless and so bad. And the fact is, the guy that made it actually made like a much shorter version of it that's like 18 minutes long and put it up on YouTube years before he made Skinamarink. And then he made Skinamarink, which is basically he made, the whole thing is he made it for the same amount. He made it for like 20 grand and it fucking made like all these millions of dollars. And it's like, yeah, because there's a sucker born every minute. Because people are like, oh no, you don't understand the symbolism. Oh my God. And it's like, and people are like, oh, with this, it's like, oh, because look, you can go back and there, you could see the person in the photo and blah, blah, blah. I don't fucking care. Like, I didn't care the first time I watched it when it's showing in the credits and it's popping up the fucking pictures. And I'm like, and like, there's another one. I don't want to rant about bad found footage movies, but another movie that's just like this, that people keep adding on and saying, oh my God, it's so amazing, blah, blah, is this movie called Howard's Mill that came out a couple of years ago. Boring as shit. Leads nowhere. It's supposed to be like a true crime mockumentary, but then it involves a fucking quantum vortex in the middle of a field. It's like the dumbest shit ever.
Okay.
It goes nowhere. It's pointless, but people are like, oh no, Howard's Mill and Lake Mungo, you really got to watch them. No, shut up. There are so many great fucking found footage, mockumentary, and analog horror fucking, properties out there that don't get enough recognition. And shit like this is being put up on a giant pedestal. And I don't fucking get it. I've just got two little bits of trivia on it that I had. I mentioned one I said during casting, low profile actors were sought in an effort to maintain an authentic documentary feel. The film was shot over a period of approximately 5 weeks using both film and video formats. The script featured only the outline of the story and no written dialogue. So the actors were tasked with improvising their scenes.
That's another testament to the greatness of these actors.
Yeah, the actors, I'm cool.
Good.
Yeah. And the other thing that's like, so the reason her name was the reason the main character was named that was a reference to Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks.
That's what I thought. That's what I figured.
A character who also knew she was going to die tragically before it even happened.
Really?
That's what I figured. Yeah. I'm actually, I think I told you guys, I'm currently watching Twin Peaks for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of Brie, fucking Brie baguettes. Oh, but yeah. So okay. So just you like. I feel redeemed now. I feel so fucking redeemed. And that's why I waited too. I was like, please, please, please don't tell me I'm on this island alone and there's just something I'm not getting.
Right.
Thank you for letting me know that I'm not fucking crazy. Oh God, I feel so much better.
Just like the classic Chappelle line. I wish I had one more hand so I can give this movie 3 thumbs down.
I give them 4 thumbs down. The milk's gone bad. So if you are interested in watching this hunk of shit,
it's not a hunk of shit. It's just not very good. I think
watch 10 minutes of it.
So yeah, it is currently available streaming what do you call it? Streaming for free on Fandango at Home, Plex, Amazon Prime, and Fubo. So no video on demand, free at all those, which I don't pay for this. And what's going to be funny is I'm going to actually be able to, like, the found footage group that I'm in, I'll be able to put this episode up with a link to it because it has to do with found footage. I'm going to get so much fucking hate. I'm going to get so much fucking hate.
That's too funny.
It doesn't matter because we're spitting facts here. So.
Oh God, I feel so much better now. All right, so that takes us to you, Greg.
I had 2013's A Most Violent Year.
Away we go.
I understand you and your men have a job to do here, but we're in the middle of a 10-year-old's birthday party.
And I'm sorry, but we are coming in.
That's not a problem. We have nothing to hide from you. My husband is a good man. Don't mistake his honesty for weakness. He deserves respect. This was very disrespectful.
I run a fair and clean business, and I will fight till my last breath to prove that.
These are dangerous times and we have to adapt. It's not like when we was driving.
There were more murders and rapes in this city last year than there have ever been. So if you've come to tell me that we have an urgent security issue here, trust me, I'm aware.
This can't continue. You're at war here.
It's been 2 years since you started investigating my industry. Do you have any idea who's been doing this to us?
Or you may be doing something to bring this on yourself.
I have always taken the path that is most right. The result is never in question for me. Just what path do you take to get there?
Where did you get that?
Your youngest daughter found it in the bushes outside her front door. It's not a brick through a car window. This is your kid playing with a loaded gun. Katie!
The DA's coming down with 14-count indictment. We've just pushed it a little too far, that's all. Can't have this situation continuing.
If one of these guys shoots someone, it will be the end of everything that we have worked for.
You now have serious legal cases against you, ranging from fraud to tax evasion.
It wasn't your good luck helping you out all these years. It was me.
I don't want anything to do with this!
When it feels scary to jump, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. can't do.
Okay, so A Most Violent Year was released in 2014. It was written and directed by J.C. Shandor, starring Oscar Isaac, Jessica Chastain, and Albert Brooks. On a budget of $20 million, its worldwide box office was $12 million. The synopsis is this is a crime drama set in New York City during the winter of 1981, statistically one of the most violent years in the city's history, and centered on the lives of an immigrant and his family trying to expand their business and capitalize on opportunities as the rampant violence, decay, and corruption of the day drag them in and threaten to destroy all they have built. All right, Greg, dealer's choice.
I'm gonna go last, just to go last.
Okay.
Last
Mark,
movie,
you want to
last-
take? Yeah, you want to take the lead on this, Mark?
Absolutely. So I found this to be an absolutely gripping movie. I was glued to the screen, and I don't say that a lot about a lot of movies or films, but even this movie, it's an anomaly because technically it's a slow burn movie, and yet it 100% absolutely never feels slow, at least to me. Like, I was glued to the screen. Like, everything that was going on the screen, I was just eating it up. And honestly, I've even after watching it, I would watch it again. I just very super riveting storytelling and very good filmmaking. Oscar Isaac is so good. Jessica Chastain is so good, and she had like the thankless role of like the put upon wife of the main character, and I think she freaking killed it. Like she was her character was so complex, and like she had this backstory about her family's in organized crime, and so like there's that whole element to it. Added a lot of layers, and honestly, I can't fault any film that opens with one of my all-time favorite Marvin Gaye songs, Inner City Blues, Make Me Want to Holler. And so I don't think I have a single negative thing to say about this film at all. I think Oscar Isaac, he was given off like to me at least young Al Pacino vibes, like in The Godfather, like that sort of like quiet but intense kind of like this guy's got it. It's good stuff, you guys. I really, really, really enjoyed this, and this is like one of those films where I'm really happy to do this podcast because we come across films like this sometimes. I really enjoyed it. The end.
Elfine.
So I think, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is actually, and considering like how most of our cinematic tastes go, I think this is actually the first A24 film we featured on the show.
Really? Okay.
Believe so, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't picked any yet.
I mean, this was
yeah, before this, yeah.
So I'm not as fawning over it as Mark is. I thought it was very well done. I don't know. I kind of expect more from A24, and I'm not saying it's bad at all. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I just think, I don't know. I think in just certain little spots it was lacking. I think I was expecting like a different twist here and there, because some of my notes where I was just like, okay, so I think I have this figured out, and I was like, okay, maybe not. I was like, well, why didn't you do this instead? And that's just, and that might have been me just nitpicking, because like for me, like let me see, like let's see here. What is it? I think it was around like the hour and a half mark where he's meeting up with the heads of the other oil companies.
Mhm.
And I said, that's a smart move, meeting up with all the heads of the company and trying to act like you're the innocent one. I said, but I think I got this figured out. He's cooking his books by stealing his own oil or sending out empty trucks that he claims have been stolen and then drained where they're found. Like,
yeah, but you don't know. You get that feeling like there's something.
You get that feeling
on.
No, until you find out that like no, these trucks
wasn't even him,
and that they were these trucks were getting drained by these thieves, and one of his competitors was buying it, and so it's like, oh, so he was honest the whole time, which I don't know, it was kind of a disappointment to me to find out that he was being honest.
Interesting. Okay.
You subverted the genre. Damn.
Especially because the whole thing of it's like, because he's being like, I'm like, well, if he's being honest, why is he being investigated by the DA?
Right.
Yeah. Like that's what I didn't quite understand. I'm like, why? Because I'm like, there's something missing at the beginning here. Like, why is the DA investigating him?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, but then the wife's like, blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, so the wife's cooking the books. Okay, I get that. But I'm like, but why is she cooking the books? Like, obviously, it's a hard business to get in on the ground floor, obviously. But so why is she? But then it's like, but then there's the reveal that she's been skimming the whole time just in case they ever needed the like. That didn't sit right with me for some reason.
Yeah, but that was like her organized crime background. Like, oh yeah, you always got to have like an out, like some sort of golden parachute or something like that, and that was like her instinct was to skim money because we know we're gonna get fucked up in the future.
And see, and this is what one of my notes was. This hits a little too close to home because this hit a little too close to home. Because like my father has passed, so I can talk about this. My father was involved in some organized crime, and my father's store was a front. It was a liquor store, sold liquor. It was also a front for him selling drugs, and it was also a front for him to launder gambling money for one of the bigger mobsters in the area.
Mm.
Oh.
And my mother, who was working for an accounting firm at the time, was cooking the books, but she was cooking the books so she could have money on the side for herself. So that's why I'm like, no one cooks the books for a good reason. So it's like, oh, rainy day fund. Like, you don't cook the books for a rainy day fund and don't let in the guy who owns the business on it. Like, that's a little no. You were planning like I was firmly expecting, like, especially after she said I've been cooking the books for this. Like, I was like, she's gonna kill Oscar Isaac with that gun that they found.
Oh, okay, interesting.
That's where I thought it was gonna go. So it's right. So by it going in a different direction, okay, so you subverted what I thought was going. So I guess that's all right. That bucks the trend of what I thought would be predictable. Yeah, so I will give the kudos to Shander for that. Mm-hmm. And obviously I've mentioned on the show before my sweet spot for 70s, 80s New York. So what
was this, 1981? I think
mm-hmm.
It was
right.
I think didn't Joker take place in 81 too? It
had
so. That was a really smart time period to put
because it was the most statistically the most violent year in NYC in the past 5 decades. Yeah. Yep. But here's the other thing, like there's just certain things I didn't understand. It's just like, okay, so the driver that got jacked at the beginning.
Yeah.
And and then like he comes back to work and he goes out drive and he's about to get jacked again. And then he goes and like all of a sudden he's like running like when the guys go to rob him and he's running away. I'm like, why are you running away? Why are you hiding? Like, you were defending yourself. Like, okay, maybe you can, they find out that the gun you didn't have a permit for, but why would that matter? Like, like, why are you running? Like, that's what made me think like you're in on this.
I think it still matters. And also it was the union boss that cleared him to do that and not the business. So I don't know. that got a little murky only because
it was
the union
murky
is like
for 'em.
basically going right against.
Right. It was the Teamsters Union. And and obviously, you can get in a whole thing about that. And I mean, but like I said, I thought it was well done. Like, like Chastain and Isaac are, they're both amazing. They're both amazing actors. I've actually got some trivia bits about that. So, of course, because I don't think I've ever seen Oscar Isaac in a role that I didn't like him in.
You didn't see X-Men Apocalypse?
I like X-Men Apocalypse.
Not me.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I quit this podcast.
Listen, there's way too many people out there to defend X-Men The Last Stand. I can like X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, I mean, hey, I'll give you that.
Here's one you really hate. I like Dark Phoenix too.
No, I like Dark Phoenix better than Apocalypse.
Okay.
I didn't even bother with Dark Phoenix. I didn't.
It was all right.
Yeah, I didn't.
Jessica Chastain's in it.
Yep.
That's still not going to get me to watch it.
It's not as bad as people put it out to be.
No. I'll never know.
I did know, like, one of the things I said, like, that I think Shandor was going for, that I mentioned it twice. They were both dinner scenes. I said I don't know if it's unintentionally or not. The whole dinner with the vice president, with the vice president of the bank, and the second dinner scene, they both look like they were shot to be scenes from The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just with the atmosphere and the lighting and the colors palette, and it felt like the first Godfather. And I think that's what he was going for in that, with the whole, like, because that's like, I think I would have liked it a little more if we got a little bit more backstory on Jessica Chastain coming from a mob family. Because you really, all you know is like, yeah, her dad was a mobster. I'm like, and like,
well, I think they're just sort of suggesting that she's used to like crooked dealing. Like she's used to this sort of like, oh yeah, well, we don't follow the law in this family. Like we'll skim money if we think it's going to save our ass.
We don't follow the law, but then I'm going to yell at him for someone coming to try to shoot us in the middle of the night. Like, you grew up in a mob family. Like,
okay, yeah, I see that.
That's why, like, it felt like that, like, and like I said, this is only like a little nitpick. It didn't take away from the experience of the whole. The movie is still good. Mm-hmm. It's just I felt like it needed a little more explanation, especially because like Abel is supposed to be, he's an immigrant who's built, he's pulled up by his bootstraps to do all this stuff, and it's like, bro, like, I feel like we need a prequel to find out how Abel met his wife and how he was able to marry a mob princess without any repercussions. Like,
yeah,
I was gonna say, when you said I would like some backstory about Jessica Chastain, I said there's a prequel idea right there.
Exactly.
Pretty organic prequel idea.
Right. And like, just the whole subplot about the driver. Like, I don't understand why he offed himself at the end. Like,
yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere.
Like, okay,
I thought he was going to kill Abel. And,
yeah,
I really did. And then he was like, all of a sudden, he's like, take care of my family for me. It's like, oh, he's going to kill himself? That's not, I didn't see that.
And then it's like, the dude is such a fuck up that on his way out, he puts a hole in the oil tank.
Yeah.
So basically, everything we thought was going to happen, the opposite happened.
I think they had him shoot the oil tank and have the oil leak out I think the only reason they did that was to show what a crude businessman Abel was, where he, like, this dude just shot himself and he goes over to the hole and like plugs it up. Like, I don't want to waste any more of this oil.
Right.
I think that character moment was the only reason why that bullet hit the tank.
I mean,
it didn't make any sense otherwise. How many movies have you seen where someone shoots themselves in the head and it doesn't hit anything behind them?
Right.
But yeah.
Right. The bullet gets lodged in the brain spatters. Right. It's like, even if it exits out, it doesn't have enough force to go through a thick ass
Yes.
oil tank.
Yeah, by the time it went through all the bone, it wouldn't have pierced all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know, even unless it came from a man like a Carcano in Dallas, Texas. Like, I don't see that bullet getting through there.
I was gonna say the same thing. Magic bullet, baby.
That's so funny.
Anytime I can pull a JFK reference.
Appreciated here, sir.
Hell yeah. But yeah, like, yeah, that's I just kept thinking like, yeah, I kept thinking like it was going to be revealed that he was stealing his own oil. My first note was, good Lord, is the prosthetic makeup on Albert Brooks supposed to be that obvious?
Was there prosthetics?
Yes.
Really?
He was wearing like a prosthetic nose and a prosthetic chin putty, and like, I was just like, I mean, I could tell it was Albert Brooks right away, but I'm like, that's
the
a lot
voice
of
gives it
prosthetics.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, the chin looked a little off.
Yeah.
Why would you need prosthetics? It didn't.
I don't
add anything to the character.
I don't understand, like, especially because like it was fought like because like he was he said that he came from organized crime too, and I'm like, you're really following into the whole thing, that the whole problem Robert Evans had, where gangsters were Italians were played by Jews, like, and here I have Albert Brooks, making himself look more Jewish in order to look Italian, like. Which brings me like, and I wanted to go because I'm like, this is an A24 movie, and I know it's like, it's earlier A24, so I know it's going to have a serious tone to it, and I almost couldn't start taking it seriously right at the beginning when he's doing the whole signing of the thing, because the whole thing with the old Jewish guys at the beginning just reminded me too much of Walk Hard.
You know what's so funny?
What?
Walk Hard was directed by the guy that directed Orange County.
Yes.
Oh, Jake Kasdan or whatever.
Yes,
yeah,
Jake
that's
Kasdan.
funny.
Yeah. But it's just like this. You see them with the van. I'm just like, all I could think was like, those Jewish guys run show business.
I have a question. At the end, when Abel is sealing the deal, he finally got all the money. He's signing so he can get that property.
Yeah.
And he's in the trailer or whatever it is, signing the papers. And Jessica Chastain is outside smoking a cigarette at the car. And he comes out to have her sign the papers.
Yeah.
What were they saying? That it was just a chauvinistic sort of
environment? With the Orthodox Jewish faith, women are not supposed to be part of business.
Okay, I wasn't sure what they were going for, because she's like, these
so she
fucking
could
guys.
So she's not allowed to be in the room when business is being discussed. That's like
okay, all right. I wasn't sure what that was.
Orthodox Jewish and Amish, like, that's like, it's one of the tenets is
gotcha. Okay,
is the women are not supposed to be in this part of life.
I see. Okay.
Need a blueberry candle. You'll be good. Joe got it.
Blueberry pie.
I don't get it.
It's a heretic reference.
We don't want to spoil it.
What was in the trailer?
Okay, true. I don't watch trailers. So.
Okay, yeah. Well, the blueberry pie candle was in the trailer for Heretics, so don't worry about it. And A24 is actually selling that candle on their website now.
Yes, they are, for like $40.
Right, which is insane. I'm like, I can make that candle.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
And then, of course, the wife said, "So make some." I'm like, no. I'm like, no one's gonna get the reference from me. Then I'm like, oh, you made a blueberry pie snack. Like, yeah.
That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut for a visitor.
But yeah, and what was it? So yeah, I'm just looking at my notes that I had here that I hadn't read. So the 21-minute mark, I said, I hope this isn't just because I've seen too many movies in my life, but it feels odd that you're trying to close the deal on this property and have 30 days to get the money, and you claim you're broke, yet you just closed on a new house. Meanwhile, the DA is saying that they're investigating you. This makes me believe that there's going to be some underlying racketeering plot that comes out. Please let me be wrong. That was
well, you were wrong, sort of.
Yeah, and the moment the driver asked if he could be a salesman, and you notice his accent, you already know the answer is no. Especially in the early '80s, like it's like no, it's you're not. They're not going to let you be a salesman. That's just the way it was. Like, I mean, I'm sure it's probably that way still in a lot of stuff today. Like, there's guys I know that I don't recall any of my beer or liquor salesmen ever being ethnic in any way?
Being in the industry, we do have guys who are, I guess you would say ethnic, but they usually put them in like New Haven or places where we have like Indian salesmen. They usually give.
Oh, you do. See that I always said that all of the distributors needed at least one Indian salesman each, because especially, and this isn't just a stereotype, but it's just the way it became in the liquor industry it started in the early 2000s. Was there were more and more Indian gentlemen who are opening up liquor stores.
They have their own package association now.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. And the thing is, they haggle over everything. And I'm like, you need an Indian salesman to be able to say, no, motherfucker, we're not haggling.
Yeah, we had a guy from Nepal that left the company like 2 years ago to do different business ventures. But he was our like best salesman because he was, New Haven,
right,
Bridgeport. And he was just, can obviously, relate to them and, obviously talk with them, speak the language.
Yep. I remember but one of my first days back on the job when I went back to Southington Wine after that like 6-year gap and being out of the bag. And I remember Gary Hovenian saying, Indians are the new Jews in this business. I was like, Gary. But
there's a lot of Indian retailers, but I think that's because, a lot of them, when they got here, whenever that was, have like a convenience store or a gas station.
Right.
And actually, it's funny. One of my better accounts just sold to an Indian gentleman, and he had owned 7-Elevens and stuff before. And he's like, I don't know the industry, but I know retail, and give me 30 days and to know the product.
Yeah.
I'll know exactly what I'm doing. There's no difference.
Right.
Yeah, you're totally right. So
yeah,
he's really good retailer. So
yeah. Let me see what dinner scene prediction. We're going to look for it. Oh, the only other issue that I had was when the DA shows up like at the birthday party, it's like, oh, give me 5 minutes. Well, I said, number one, they're gonna look under the deck.
Yeah.
Like that was like, I was like, really? I was like, and number two, why would you keep that many boxes of files in your damn house? This is what storage areas and drop spots were made for. You're supposed to be the daughter of a gangster, but this is one of the dumbest things you could have done.
I do think they have an out for that. Didn't she just bring them home to start going over them?
So she said, when they moved, she said, I need some time to go over it. And you saw her grab like 2 bankers boxes. So I was like, okay. But then like when it's like, oh, she's like, oh no, I've got this, this giant stack of them that were just readily in view in the garage. I'm like, if you have that many boxes full of incriminating files, why would you have them put in your brand new house?
I think if they were in the garage. It looked a lot like Joe Biden's garage.
Oh God, shut up. Look more like a bathroom in Florida.
Oh yeah, or more like a bathroom in Mar-a-Lago. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I was just like, and I mean, and obviously, like you could see that they had to make the movie set in 1981 because in 2014 you wouldn't have all those bankers boxes with,
No, well, you can do much of
physical
this.
files, right? Yeah. So it's like, okay, that's it's a period piece, which that actually inspired me to make a new fucking curated list on my drive of modern movies that are set back in the 80s as period pieces. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've actually got quite a few that I was like, holy shit. Like
I like it.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, like as far as and I think I just hold a really high standard for A24 movies now. And so this is enjoyable. I'd watch it again. Is it in my top 5 A24 movies? No, but it's definitely not a bad movie. It's definitely worth watching.
I'd say this is in my top 10 of films that I've watched this year.
Okay.
I really liked it.
Well, I will say to Joe, don't go in with too much high expectations for A24's last two films that they just released.
What were those?
But I had about the same. So yeah, I picked this. Are you done, Joe?
No, I was wondering what the last two movies you're referring to are.
Yeah.
So the last two A24 movies were Opus with Io Debris and John Malkovich.
Oh.
And Death of a Unicorn with Jenna.
Oh man, I just put Death of a Unicorn on the drive.
Yeah. Well,
I've been looking forward to that movie.
Oh.
Greg, you're saying it was bad?
I'm not saying it's bad.
Well, you also didn't like Y2K, and I did.
Okay.
So.
Oh, that's A24 too. Jeez, that's 3 in a row. That's 3 in a row. Oof.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, I like Death of a Unicorn more than both of those movies. So.
Well, then I'm pretty sure I'll like Death of a Unicorn because I liked Y2K.
Actually, you will like that. You will like Death of a Unicorn, and a reason I know why is because of something else you picked, and you will like it. Yes.
Okay, so that's good to know. So I do have a couple of tidbits, like trivia, this is another one I enjoyed finding out some of the behind the scenes stuff on it. So here's what's really cool is so Jessica Chastain thought that her nouveau riche character Anna would only wear Armani, and wrote to the fashion house to request that they lend her costumes for the film. They obliged, so every outfit she wears is vintage Armani that came out in 1981. I'm like, no, they were on loan. Okay. They had to go back to Armani afterwards, right. But it's good that they actually put that, that they took that level of detail. Because I don't think that's something people would nitpick on, but she looked into it as that. And so here's a couple of things. So the casting was changed a lot about this movie.
Really?
Yeah. So originally Albert Brooks's role was supposed to be Stanley Tucci, which would have made more sense for him to have been, like a retired gangster. Because I always think of when I think, I could see Stanley Tucci doing that after watching Lucky Number 11.
Okay. I really liked Albert Brooks in this.
Yeah, I love Albert Brooks.
Changed him out.
Yeah, I like Albert Brooks. So originally Anna was supposed to be played by Charlize Theron, but she passed on the role so Jessica Chastain could have it.
I could see that.
And here's the other big one. Originally, Oscar Isaac was not supposed to play a Belle. The original casting was Javier Bardem.
Oh, I could see that too.
During development,
as an immigrant, yeah.
Yeah, after some disagreements with the film's direction, Bardem dropped out. When he left the project, Jessica Chastain wrote director J.C. Shandor an impassioned 3-page letter asking him to consider Oscar Isaac for the lead role since she was classmates with him at Juilliard. And Shandor replied back that almost immediately with an email saying he was already considering Oscar Isaac at the time.
Wow.
I actually thought she would recommend him for another reason, which I will touch on when I get to my stuff.
Is it the other film that they had done together?
It is.
Yeah.
What film was that?
I will bring it up when I start.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I'll start. So I picked this, because I loved it when I first saw it. I remember it explicitly because I watched it the first night that I made pasta from scratch. So it was impossible to forget. I actually made Kobe meatballs also. So
nice.
Pretty damn good. My ex-girlfriend and I had her friend staying with us for a period of time. I don't remember why. I think she was here for like a week, but we all watched it and had pasta, and I fucking loved it. And watching it again, this is the second time I've seen it. I hadn't seen it since I picked it just so I could rewatch it, and also I figured people haven't seen it. I really think it's a gangster movie that's a throwback, but came out in a post-Drive world. So if you've seen Drive,
I haven't.
I have not, but I.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's the other movie.
Yes. Yes. So Albert Brooks is also in Drive, as
Oh.
is Oscar Isaac, as is Jessica Chastain.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But this is definitely like this is definitely a gangster movie you would make in 2014 after seeing Drive 3 years earlier, but wanting to set it in 1980s. So, I got to give. I'm with you guys because when the trailer was playing, I saw you both nodding your head to the
music.
Soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I wrote right from the bat, soundtrack off to a great start because I couldn't remember the songs from the first time I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, Mark, you and I were in the same body this week watching these movies. other than you having seen Ice Harvest a million times and loving it, you know, our first time watches, or well, my second time, but you know, our second time watches together.
Yeah, this is the first time watch for me too.
Yeah, you wrote almost like similar things, like the soundtrack. One of my notes was Abel is like when Michael Corleone was uncorrupted at the beginning of Godfather. He's it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I wrote Oscar Isaac is so goddamn good in this, but so is Jessica Chastain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was kind of with Joe too. Like, first of all, why the fuck are you opening up a 30-day contract contingency if you don't have all the money? If you don't have the bank already,
right?
The bank should be done. It should be like, okay, I have the bank money. I have this money.
Yes,
we're done. Like,
right?
Why is there a wait? I don't understand. And you just bought this ridiculous new house. Like, what are you doing? It also
that's a red flag.
It also goes back to like liquor store owners that I know that they're like, oh, they're on COD. They have to pay cash for their orders. But yeah, check out this new car I bought and check out this new. It's like, what are you doing, dude? It makes no sense. I don't understand.
Getting too close to home.
I also wrote he should have gotten the extension from those guys before taking the shitty loans from the other oil company. Like, why are you taking these shit loans? All right, we own we get this, we get that, we get this. We'll give you this much money, but we get this. Okay, I'll take it. And then you go to the guy and say, hey, I need like 7 more days. And they say, okay. Well, you could have said that before you took the shit loan. It's like,
it's a cutthroat business. I think he still would end up in the same. I think he still would end up in the same boat with them.
Because of that. It's just little nitpicky things in the story like that for me. But in a filmmaking perspective, it's a great fucking movie. Like, all the acting is great. I mentioned Christopher Abbott before. His first movie was Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, and he's the guy that is robbing the oil truck every time. Like I said, obviously Isaac and Chastain are great. Just everyone in the movie is just like, it's terrifically acted.
And this apparently this got a nomination for Best Picture that year too.
The Academy Awards?
I was reading something where they said that this movie was the first movie in 14 years to get nominated for Best Picture for an AFI and an Academy Award. The last movie to have done it was Quills back in 2000.
I'll take a look, but I did want to say when they showed at the beginning, they showed from Oscar nominated J.C. Shandor. I was like, what was he not nominated for an Oscar? And he actually wrote a movie the year before called Margin Call. It's about the 2008 bank collapse, and he got nominated for best screenplay for that. Now, J.C. Shandor, for as good as a director as I think he is in this movie, because another one of my notes was the second half of this movie is strong with the cinematography. It gets way more sprawling, like the sweeping shots and everything is like, it just kicks it up. And the dialogue back and forth is way more cinematic in the second half. I don't know why this guy doesn't have like better movies, more movies. He's only directed 2 movies after this. And guess what they are, if you haven't looked it up?
What are they?
Netflix's 888, which is the thing with Oscar Isaac and Ben Affleck and Chris Hemsworth. They steal, and not even Chris Hemsworth. It's what's his name? The other guy, Charlie Hunnam. They steal some shit off of a Navy thing or something, and they have to go through the outback of some country. And it's not very good. It's a Netflix action or whatever. And he also directed last year's Kraven the Hunter.
Oh God!
Ew.
So like that's the only movies he's done after this, which is Criminal, because he's really good. I mean, at least from this movie. Maybe it's a flash in the pan. You know, there are some guys who are pretty much one and done, but
No, there's so much artistry here. There's a lot of skill on display. I think he's been slumming it since then. I think he's still got more good movies in him.
I hope so. I also, the only last note I had on this was that the this movie has the French connection of foot chases.
Yeah.
Like that's a wild foot chase.
Yeah.
And pretty gripping. So
yeah.
So I really really like this movie.
Yep. So I found I misspoke.
Okay.
This was the first film since the year 2000 to win Best Film at the National Board of Review Awards and not be nominated for Best Picture at the Academy.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't think so because I remember
that's what it was.
I mean, one of the reasons I picked it was like nobody's seen it, so
I've never even heard of it since before this, and that's a real shame.
2014 A24 is a different animal than
True.
A24 anything from 2017 on.
Well, it's weird because A24 back then just bought movies. They didn't put movies.
Right.
Really?
Right.
They bought.
Oh yeah. A24 been around a long time. One of the first movies that they bought to release was Pi.
Yeah.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
And then they actually, even though they were prestigious around this time, where most things that they bought, you were like, okay, this is a certain flavor, we're gonna like it. They also released and bought the Incredible Mind of Charlie Swan or whatever. That's
right.
That Chevy. What's his name? Am I blanking? Tiger Blood.
Charlie Sheen. Yeah,
Charlie Sheen movie, which is I guess pretty terrible.
And like Swiss Army Man was an A24 movie.
Yeah, but Swiss Army Man. I mean,
that was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I never saw
it.
it.
But it's just people for a long time people thought A24 was either like art house drama or psychological horror.
Well,
that's all they thought.
I think most of it was just quality. Like, yeah, it's going to be different, but quality. But Charles Schwan is not a good movie. It's like, so, but they had a few stinkers in the beginning. Now, obviously, they've expanded to the point where they're budgeting and making movies, and taking some risks with some some expensive things, which have paid off. The things they have put money into and went full studio mode on have paid off. So that's good.
Yeah.
But I'm a big A24 fan. I actually think Apple dropped the ball not purchasing A24 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Which people think would be a bad thing. I don't think it would be a bad thing. I think they should have just bought the company and let it run independently and not said anything to them at all. Because they're looking for a library for Apple TV Plus, and they could have had it, and they should have done it.
I like what A24 is doing now because they have the A24 app where it tells you where their shit is streaming, and you can like sync it up to so you can access like the director's commentary through the app to sync it up with whatever streaming service you're watching with.
Cool. Yeah, their stuff is right now. Right now, all their stuff is licensed to Max.
Yeah.
And they have one, and they also for a current climate where there's battle with certain studios that want to put their stuff out SVOD after 45 days, 45-day window, which is insanely short. I mean, 6 weeks after a movie's in the theater to be on your TV is that's insane. They have one of the longest SVOD. I think they're like 5 months before their stuff is on Max, which is long in a lot of comparisons. If it's not 45-day, it's 90-day, and that's only 3 months. So
yeah.
I remember waiting a year and a half to get a VHS release.
Yep, sure, yeah.
I remember it was people were mad that it was 100-day turnaround between theater and DVD.
It's I don't want to veer too crazy off into another topic, but I go to the movies a lot, and it's just there's too much. There's too much. Like
Yeah.
you get 4 or 5 new movies a week in like April. Like why?
Yeah.
Why are we doing that? And they're gone in a week. Literally, one of my favorite movies this year, and I'm not going to talk about it because I might pick it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
The thing was, it was in Plainville AMC for 6 days.
Yeah.
And
what?
And it's gone. What? And then it'll
not
be
even a week.
Right. Well, that's like I missed Death of a Unicorn was Unicorn was just in the theaters 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And now and I missed it. Wow. Luckily I've got it on the drive now. You're right.
At least that was in movies. At least that was in theaters for like 4 weeks. Like, yeah, after 2 weeks, you were getting 1 or 2 showings a day, but at least it's there. Like,
guys, Titanic was in the theaters for over a year.
So was Home Alone.
Well, so you guys obviously know, if you have not seen the movie Sinners yet.
That's it, dude. That I just wanted to say, like, I am so mad that I have a chock full of fucking weekends that I have shit to do because I still gotta see Sinners. I want to see Thunderbolts this weekend.
So the thing is,
no, it's not fair.
The thing is, Sinners dropped 8% from the first weekend to the second weekend, which is unheard of today. 8% drop, that never happens.
Right.
Back when Titanic came out, like Mark said, Titanic made more money in its like 5th week than it did its first week.
Yep.
Because it was labeled a disaster during its production, and it took time for it to go. And like you said, it was in the theater for forever because you didn't release 400 movies. It's insane. Like, you get all these theatrical movies. Like I mentioned before, I do these movie roundups where I tell you what you can watch each weekend, and I'm literally showing you 4 or 5 theatrical releases and 4 to 12 streaming releases in a weekend. Why? Like, it's just it's not economically feasible. It doesn't make sense at all. So
that's why they want everyone to get those, the AMC stubs pass and all that stuff.
Well, you should. If you go to the movies, period, you should have an AMC stub.
And that's why I think it's funny that there's an A24 pass you can get for $9.99 a month.
Yeah, but they give you other stuff though too.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a little different. But yeah, if you go to the movies, like before I did AMC A-list in 2018, I went twice a year to the movie theater. That was it.
Wow.
I went when something huge was out, and then I went to A-list, and I'm literally in the theater 2 to 3 times every single week.
Trust me, as soon as I get the bike fixed, I'm signing up for that shit because I'm gonna be doing.
And I know you hate Plainville, but you have to go there if you're gonna use it because they have everything. Like, Southington doesn't get everything, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I'd still rather go. I'll go to Plainville for the stuff that, like, because Southington you get a decent amount.
Yeah.
But because that's the thing. Like, I think because we're the generation where, like, the multiplex became the thing. Like, I remember, like, when we were all like in, like, kindergarten, it was like there were like the local movie theater had 2 screens.
Yeah.
And then I remember, like, when Bristol, like, it was USA Cinemas, but it soon became a Lowe's. It had 8 screens, and everyone was like, "Holy shit, 8 screens!"
Dude, I used to go to I used to go to the Naugatuck Valley Mall. It was 2 or 3 screens.
Yep.
I think it was 2.
Yep.
My dad drove us to Torrington or Thomaston when Ghostbusters came out.
Yep.
I remember I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Then the theater across from Naugatuck Valley opened up, the Waterbury movie theater, and it had like, I don't know, 11 or 12, and we were like blown away by that.
Right.
And then the movie theater in Southington opened up, which is still there, but that at the time was like revolutionary. Like, oh my God, it's amazing. And it's just, I definitely grew up in that. And it's sad because for me before, prior to A-list, to go to movies like twice a year was crazy, but it didn't make a lot of sense. Like, I could just be like, hey, we got this Netflix and it ships you DVDs, or I can watch a DVD. And I don't know. I just wish we could get back to, I wish they could let movies marinate a lot more and get some time. But yes,
back in my day,
go see
Back in my day, we had sleepers, and things took a while to really take off.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't see it in 6 days, it's gone.
I know, it's crazy. Dude, Mark, listen, I plan out my movie watching every week because I have to. I'm like, okay, I know this will be gone in 6 days. I have to go see this week. And if I don't see Thunderbolts till week 2, guess what? I guess I have to because I can only go 3 times, soon to be 4, which is great because I can't go more than every other day.
I think Thunderbolts will be around for at least 4 weeks.
Oh yes, obviously. Marvel stuff I try to get. Marvel stuff I try to get out to just because people spoil shit like assholes.
I have high hopes just because I mean I'm the worst kind of comic book nerd. I like the characters that no one else likes, and the fact that there's finally a movie with US Agent in it, I'm fucking dying over. But I actually saw I think it was New Rockstars who are not Marvel shills, but dude literally said it's like people throw it around, but he said this literally is the best MCU movie since Endgame.
I mean, there's
really,
he says it has that Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1 feel to it.
That's what I think they were definitely going for.
Yeah, so I'm like,
a good Suicide Squad movie,
right? Exactly. But yeah, but anyways,
while we're on the topic, I know we want to get off, and while we're on the topic of going to movies. I did see Pink Floyd live at Pompeii.
Oh my god, I wanted to see that so bad.
I saw the IMAX restoration and remaster, and it was fucking incredible. If you guys are into Pink Floyd, it's no longer called Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii. It's called Pink Floyd at Pompeii because they play live, but no one watches it.
Yep.
There's no audience other than
no audience.
True dudes in the background. But it was awesome. Sounds.
I would still see it.
Looks incredible. Sounds fucking better than that. It was awesome. And seeing becoming Led Zeppelin this year on IMAX and Pink Floyd at Pompeii, it's amazing how John Bonham was probably the best drummer of all time. But that movie does not focus on him whatsoever, really. Pink Floyd at Pompeii is Nick Mason's starring vehicle. It is incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, listen, I think it might show in IMAX a couple more times like this week or something, maybe. I don't know, hopefully, but
it's in Plainville.
I actually had to see it in IMAX. They didn't show it in IMAX in Plainville. I had to go to Milford, but my friends that I actually saw it in college, the only time I've ever seen it, I saw it in my college on one of the Thursday nights where we used to stay in and hit the earth smoke and watch movies. My same college friends all went to see it in the theater. It was fucking awesome. I recommend it.
See, they need to do a 4K IMAX restoration of Roger Waters' The Wall live in Berlin.
They probably will.
The one where he had all the actors part of it, Tim Curry playing the fucking judge and shit like that needs to fucking happen.
I actually own a DVD of The Wall and I've never watched it. So.
Wow. Okay, do you mean Pink Floyd The Wall, the movie, or Roger Waters' The Wall live in Berlin?
The movie, not the live.
Okay, because when you finally do watch the movie, then go watch Roger Waters' The Wall live in Berlin because it is a stage show with excerpts from the movie.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think they have a 4K coming out of The Wall, so I might just upgrade it before I watch it. And I do love concert films that subvert the genre, and this definitely does. It's terrific. It's actually. This version is the extended director's cut that you might not have seen. They actually show them recording Dark Side of the Moon during it. It's phenomenal. It's amazing.
Oh man,
wonderful.
Big high recommendation. Cool. Sorry to give us on another track.
Oh no, that's completely fine. Trust me, you're talking my language. Which now that we're recorded, now we can put this on hard copy. Mark, we need to have a mission because they announced Rocky Horror getting released in 4K in the theaters, and we got to drag Greg to a theater.
Really? Okay.
I put it in the group chat last night.
Oh, I didn't notice that part. I know
read it back.
And that was when Greg was like, "I'm not a big Rocky Horror fan," and I'm like, "Okay, that's it."
Oh, that's not exactly what I said.
Mark, you said I've only seen it once.
You said you hadn't seen it, right? Or you hadn't seen it live.
I saw it once.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I was like,
I highly recommend. I highly recommend the Pink Floyd live. They're gonna release it on 4K because they're releasing the album remastered Friday.
Yeah, that's right.
So they're gonna release the album or the movie on 4K. So definitely check it out. It's great.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So getting back. So if you are interested in watching A Most Violent Year after that tangent, it is currently available as video on demand on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Fandango at Home, and FlixFling. So it's video on demand no matter where you go. I could not do a You're Welcome because it's A24 and I don't touch like I'm not gonna subvert what they do. If it's A24 or Neon releasing, I will not just throw it out there. It's they're doing the Lord's work, so in a different way. So that's just me. So you will have to pay for it, but I think we've all agreed it's worth paying the few dollars to see it.
It's worth $4.
Right. Okay, so that brings us to time to draw for the next episode, gentlemen.
Okay.
Poker faces, and now we're getting down to the nitty of the gritty.
Who's pulling the wild card this week? Let's do it.
I'm preparing just in case. Okay. All right. So, Mark, you went first today. So, what did you pull?
All right. I pulled 1987's Ishtar.
I went in the middle today and I pulled. Let's see if we get a trend here. 1984's Streets of Fire. What did you pull, Greg?
No wild card this week, gentlemen.
Oh, well?
Which means
What?
we're closer to a week of all wild cards.
It's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
I have 2009's The Carter.
Okay.
All right. So I will make sure everything is set up in the curated collection. We will work on figuring out a next record date. Let's see here. Let me just look. This is what if you're watching this, this will definitely be what do you call it? If you're watching this or listening to this on Spotify, it's definitely Friday, May 2nd or afterwards when you are. So that means that I just want to check here because it's an odd month for me. That week. So sometime between the 11th and the 17th. So as long as it's not the day of my birthday, I'm sure we can record.
All right.
But yeah. So
Just a heads up. I'm open every night that week. I have no hockey, no nothing. So
cool beans.
Well, Monday the 12th, I'm probably going to be drinking. So so we shall see.
Is that your
But
birthday?
yeah. Yes, it is.
You drinking alone, or where are you going to be drinking?
I don't know yet. I haven't made any fucking plans for shit other than like because wifey took the day off and I was just like I want to go hit up the archive in Bridgeport and possibly the Goodwill bins in Hamden to find some tapes. Like that's all I really care about doing.
Well, if you want some company, hit me up.
All right. Well, it's a weekday, so I weren't sure if you were working or not.
Oh, it depends on which week. I don't know what day the 12th.
It's a Monday. It's a Monday.
I can only do after 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we'll figure something out.
But just to remind you all, this episode is brought to you by Dubby. Go to Dubby.gg, use the code Full Circle Radio at checkout for 10% off your order. As is good, we will see you all in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, you'll catch up on the movies in the theaters before they're out. before they can't watch them anymore.
You have 6 days. Hurry.
Gone.
Right? Although, yeah, everything's like The Ring now. You got 7 days or you're dead.
It's wild, man.
Yeah. But yeah, so with all that being said, thanks for joining us on Wildcard Cinema, and let's New Jack swing on out of here.
Later.
Happiness is where I think of you, and when we get together and rendezvous, I'll be on time. You're in the wine, and when we lock the door, you'll be all mine.